If you want to learn how to use the Retouching Academy to smooth skin, or you just want to learn how the Retouching Academy works, you should watch this video, because I promise you at the end of this video you are going to learn something. Let's get started. First, I'm going to show you how to smooth skin using Retouching Academy. Then I'll show you how to match skin tone using Retouching Academy. Also, I'll show you how to add textures to your image using the Retouching Academy. To smooth skin using Retouching Academy, I'll first of all duplicate my background layer by pressing Command J or Ctrl J if you're using a Windows. After that, we are going to run the frequency separation. So click on the Beauty Retouch right here. Once the Retouching Academy open, I'm going to click on frequency separation via Gaussian blur. Now for this type of image, I'm going to use a radius between 10 to 15 or 20. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use a Gaussian blur radius of 10 and hit OK. Now the way Gaussian blur radius works is, if you want your image to be smooth, use a low Gaussian blur radius. While if you want to retain texture on your image, or you still want to have textures in your image, use a high blur radius. So that's how this Gaussian blur radius works. So you can see, once you create that frequency separation action, it has automatically created this group for us. And inside this group, we have our low frequency, which consists of the colors. We have our corrective tone, which we are going to be brushing up with the mixer brush tool to make the image look smooth. We have our high frequency, which contains the texture. And we have our high frequency texture copy, which we are going to be using to remove blemishes from our image. So pay close attention. Now the first thing we want to do is to remove the blemishes from our image. Now to do that, since the blemishes are textures, we are going to select the high frequency copy, which is this first layer right here. Once you select that, pick your close stamp tool. Once you pick your close stamp tool, make sure you're using a soft round brush. Your mode is on normal, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, and current layer is selected because you are working directly on the high frequency layer. So make sure current layer is selected for your sample. Now to remove blemishes from your image using this frequency separation method, once you zoom in and you pick your close stamp tool, use your square bracket key to increase and decrease the brush size according to the blemishes you want to remove from your image. So for example, if I want to remove these blemishes right here, I'm going to reduce my brush size to fit these blemishes. Once I do that, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hold Option if I'm using a Mac, or Alternate if you are using a Windows. So press Option or Alternate and click on a good place close to the blemishes you want to remove to take a sample, which you are going to be using to fill these blemishes. So once I hold Alternate or Option and click from a good place and I paint over that blemishes, it's just going to remove the blemishes from there. So take a look at this place right here. See the before and the after. The before and the after. You can see the blemishes is no longer there. So basically, we are going to be doing that simple step for all the blemishes on the image. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in now. I'm going to sample from here, paint. Remember, when you're doing this, make sure you are increasing and decreasing your brush size according to the blemishes you are removing, or according to the blemishes you want to remove. Alright, so I'm just going to do this for all of the image. Just press Alternate or Option to sample from a good place, Alternate to Option to sample from a good place, and just paint over the blemishes just like that. Now you can see the hair on the forehead. I'm still going to remove it, so I'm going to sample from a good place, just paint over the hair. You can see how small my brush is because those hair are thin lines. That's why I just reduce my brush size to fit only those hair right there. So like I said, make sure you are increasing and decreasing your brush size according to the blemishes you want to remove. Now let's remove this one. Also, let's remove this. Now let me quickly show you the before and after before I continue doing this. See the before and the after. The before and the after. So I believe by now you already have the idea of what I try to do. So I'm going to do this for whole of the image right now. Okay guys, we'll finish removing the blemishes from this image. So let's see the before and the after. This is the before and the after. The before and the after. After we finish removing the blemishes, I know you're wondering how we are going to do those dark spots on the forehead and the side. Don't worry, at the end of this video, we are not going to see them anymore, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now next thing I'm going to do, we are going to mix the color. Now to mix the color, I'm going to click on this my corrective tone right here and turn off this high frequency texture layer right here. Once I turn it off, You can see right now the image is blurred because we have only the color. The color is now visible. We no longer have the textures on this image. Now after that, I'm going to pick my mixer brush tool. Once I pick my mixer brush tool, any settings that you use that is working for you, you can continue using it. But this is my setting. I'm using a soft round brush. This place is on clean brush. My clean brush after this stroke is selected. My wet is on 30. My load is on 30. Mix is on 30. And flow is on 20. A sample layer is selected because this corrective tool right here is an empty layer. But if I was to be working directly on this low frequency colors and tones, I won't check the sample layer. I'll just uncheck it if I was working directly on this low frequency. But since I'm working on this corrective tone, which is an empty layer, I'm just going to turn it on and check it. Now, if you want to brush, make sure you are brushing your highlights separately. So this is what I mean. This is your highlight. Make sure you are brushing this. Let me just use white. Make sure you are brushing this highlight separately. The highlight. All right. Also, make sure you are brushing your shadow parts of the image separately as well. And also, when you are brushing, make sure you are increasing and decreasing the brush size according to the parts you are working on. So don't just use a big brush to brush the whole image, or just use a small brush to brush your image. So if I want to brush on this small highlight on the nose right here, I'm going to reduce my brush size. That is, reduce my mixer brush size to fit only that highlight right there and paint on only that place. And if I'm working on a bigger portion, I'm going to increase my brush size and work on that place just like that. All right. So I'll pick my mixer brush tool, turn off my high texture layer. Now I have only the colors on my image. I'm just going to paint right now. Right, so with my mixer brush tool selected, I'm just going to paint right now. So you can see I'm using a big brush because that part of the image is big. All right, so this part as well. And also, if you're brushing, try as much as possible to brush according to the shape of the subject or the face you are working on, so that we still have the face. The face is still going to be looking the same even after you finish brushing. We don't want to change the shape of the subject, so brush according to the shape or according to the face of the subject rather. All right, so what I mean is, let me just quickly explain that. What I mean is, this part right here, I'm going to brush into this direction because it's the face of the subject. This part to this direction, this part to this direction like this, but I'm not brushing like this. I'm brushing in circle. All right, so that's how I brush in cycle. I just want to explain that. All right, so I'm going to continue doing this. Turn off my high texture layer. Okay, now another thing I still want to mention is, since you are using this Retouching Academy and you are working directly on this corrective tool, if you actually make a mistake, so let's say for example, I just brush shadow into the highlight like this. So let's just see what I did there. So for example, let's say you have something like this, which is a mistake. So see the before and the after. So instead of deleting the whole frequency separation, you can just pick your eraser tool and just erase only that place, because we are working non-destructively. So the frequency separation inside the Retouching Academy is a non-destructive frequency separation. So that's why I prefer working on this empty layer instead of working directly on the low frequency. I hope you understand that. So I'm going to turn off my high texture layer again, pick my brush tool, and continue brushing on this image just to mix the color and just make the image look smooth. All right, so as you can see, I'm increasing and decreasing my brush size according to the part of the image I'm working on. You can see when I want to work on this highlight on the nose, you can see how small my brush is, and I want to work on the shadow, you can see I've increased my brush size. So just increase and decrease your brush size according to the part of the image you are working on. All right, so let's quickly see the before and after so you can have an idea of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so let's see the before and after. So take a look at this image, see the before and the after, the before and the after. So I'm going to be doing this for the whole of this image, and when I'm back, this image is going to be looking really good. All right, we're done. Let's see the before and after. See the before and the after. The before and the after. You can see the image is smooth, but we still have textures on the image. And also, you can see those colors right there are no longer that visible, but we are still going to color correct them later in this video and just remove all the color and just make all the color blend. But you can see the before and the after. Now for me, if you still feel there are some blemishes on the image which you want to remove, you can do that. So just pick your close stamp tool, select your high frequency texture, and just paint on maybe any blemishes you still feel it's on the image that you are seeing. All right, so let this work for me because the image is smooth and I still have textures on the image. But if you're a type of person that wants your image to look really smooth, what you can do, after running this focus separation, you can run another focus separation on top of this focus separation and use a lower blur radius if you still want your image to be smooth. But for me, I think this one works for me. This is perfect for me. So I think I'm going to mix this particular place a little bit more, and also mix this particular place a little bit more. So I'll come to my corrective tone, pick my mixer brush tool, hide my high texture layer. Oh, sorry, mixer brush tool, not normal brush tool. Okay, just paint on these plates to mix those colors right there. Okay, and also do the same thing for this part right here. Just mix the colors right there. Alright, I think like this should work. Okay, better. You can see a lot better. So let's see the before and after of what we've done so far with frequency separation. See the before and the after. The before and the after. Now, after doing the frequency separation, let me show you how to color correct or even out skin tone using the Retouching Academy. What you want to do is to open up the Retouching Academy again. Once you open it up, you are going to see this magic skin tone right here. So double click on the magic skin tone or click once on the magic skin tone and it's going to open. So just click on continue and just going to open like this. So what you want to do from here, just open this group. Once you open this group, click on this first one that says hue and saturation adjustment, double click on it, and it's going to open the color picker properties for you. Once the color picker property is open, what I want to do now, we want to sample any color from our midtones or our image that we like. So I like the color on the nose right here, so I'm going to sample this color. So I want the whole skin to have this kind of color. So once I sample that color, I'm going to hit on OK. Now if I hit on OK, just look at this adjustment right here. You're going to see the color is going to change. So immediately I click on OK, the color right here has changed to this color where I picked from. Now to make that color visible to the whole image, come back to this adjustment layer right here, this black adjustment layer that it says scale to correction. So click on it, pick a normal brush tool, make sure your foreground color is set to white. If it's on black, change it to white. If it's another color, click on this small black and white right here to change it to default black and white. So with your foreground color set to white, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, make sure you're using a soft round brush. Very important, soft round brush. So I'm just going to paint that color on the whole image like this. All right, so you can see what's happening. The color I sampled from, I'm just painting it on the whole image. So this is how you can actually use Retouching Academy to even out skin color or color correct your image. But I know it's looking too obvious right now, but I'm going to show you how to actually make it look more better. So let's just paint on only the skin. So anywhere you have skin on your image, just paint on it like so, but do not paint on the eyes or do not paint on the lips, just like that. All right, so like this works for me. Now for me, what I'm going to do, with my layer mask still selected, I'll come to my windows and I'll click on properties. So I'm just going to feather it to just blur it and just make the edge feathered and hit, and just close the properties. Now see the before and the after. Obviously it's looking too much, so what we're going to do, we're going to use our best friend, which is opacity, and just reduce the opacity a little bit until you feel it's okay. So I think 20 works for me. I'm okay with 20. So the before and the after, the before and the after, this works for me. Now next I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to whiten the teeth and whiten the eyes using the Retouching Academy. Now to do that, it's easy, super easy. Come to the Retouching Academy again and just click on this magic smile for the teeth. All right, so let's click on magic smile. all you have to do is just pick your normal brush tool, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, and just brush on the teeth just like that. So that's all you have to do. Don't worry about the mask. Everything has been created for you. All you have to do is pick your normal brush tool, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, and just brush on the teeth to whiten it. So the before and the after. Now if you feel it's too much, you can just take down the opacity a little bit like so. Now let's work on the eyes. Now for the eyes, I'll come back to the Retouching Academy again and just click on magic eyes right here. Yeah, magic eyes. I'm just going to do its thing, so let's just wait for it to load. Okay, so after it has finished loading, this place that says clean white eyes, this is where you're going to be brushing on. All you have to do is zoom in and just paint on this white part of the eyes like so. And if you make a mistake, just switch to a black brush. So press X on your keyboard, X to switch between white and black. So since I made a mistake, I'm going to press X to switch to black and just erase it from that place like this. Press X again to switch to white and continue brushing on the image just like that. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for this other eyes. Just like this. All right, like this works. Now, after this, I'm going to show you how to add textures to your image, digital textures. So I'm going to press X and remove it from here and just reduce the opacity a little bit, just like this. Like this works for me. Now, next I'm going to do, I'm not going to increase those catch light and just make it more visible. To do that, I'm going to come to my adjustment layer, click on brightness and contrast, just move the contrast up, also move the brightness up, and just invert the layer mask. You can see it's on white. Once I press on Command I or Control I and I invert it, I'll automatically hide that effect from that particular place. Now I want to reveal that effect only on the catch light of the eyes. So I'm going to pick my normal brush tool, make sure my foreground color is set to white, and just paint on only the catch light of the eyes. Wow. So let's see the before and after. See the before and the after. The before and the after. So much better. If you feel it's too much, you can just reduce the opacity. Now let me show you how to add skin texture using the Retouching Academy to your image. So to do that, just come to your beauty retouch again and just click on this digital skin texture right here. So once you click on it, all you have to do is pick your normal brush tool, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, foreground color set to white, and just paint on the skin of your subjects. Don't paint on the eyes, don't paint on the lips, just paint on only the skin of your subjects to add digital skin texture to your image. Now I'm going to zoom in and show you the effect so you can see what is happening to the image. So if you're a type of person that likes your image to look smooth, maybe after you finish smooth skin for your image, you can actually use this digital skin texture to add some kind of texture to the image. All right, now take a look at the image after adding the digital skin texture. See the before and the after. The before, and the after. So much better. But what you can do, you can just reduce the opacity to about 50 works for me. Now lastly, I'm just going to boost those highlights and shadows. I'm going to do my global dodge and burn. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the last part. So I'm going to come to my Retouching Academy again, click on dodge and burn curves right here. So I'm going to delete this visual aid. Now for dodge and burn, so this global dodge and burn, I just want to make the highlights more visible and make the shadow more visible to add depth to the image. So to do that, I'm going to open up the group. We have our dodge and we have our burn. So dodge is to brighten, while burn is to darken. Now I'm going to dodge the highlights part of the image. So I'll pick my normal brush tool, take my flow to about 2%, and just dodge the highlights. Sorry, I'm on burn. So I'm just going to dodge the highlights like so, like this, the lips under the jaw, then here, then I'll come to my burn. I'm going to burn these parts. I'm going to burn these parts. I'm going to burn these parts. I'm going to burn this part like this. All right, so let's see the before and after. See the before and the after. The before and the after. So I think I'm going to feather it a little bit. So I'll click on my dodge, come to my properties, and just feather it. Now if your properties is not here, come to the burn, click on Windows, come to properties. You're going to see the same thing and just feather it like so. All right, so So the before and the after. The before and the after. So let's just group everything I've done so far so you can see where we started from and where we are right now. So see where we started from originally. You can see the skin texture, you can see those dark spots and everything. And this is the after. You can see they are no longer there. Everything just looks really, really nice. So this is how you can retouch your image using the Retouching Academy. And if you need the Retouching Academy, I'm going to be leaving a link where you can get it in the show below of this video. And if you use that link, you're going to get $20 off your purchase. And also, if you don't have the Retouching Academy or you don't have the money to get the Retouching Academy, you can check out this video right here. I explain how you can create focus separations from start to finish and also how you can use it as a beginner. I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay creative.